I had two options. I could either pretend like I was going along with everything and have everyone wonder, like, are they hooking up? Are they not hooking up? Is she okay with this? What the f? Like, or stand up for myself and say, no, I'm actually not okay with this and I'm walking away. So that's what I decided to do. When you just need to stand up and say, no, I would never cheat on my girlfriend. I wouldn't do that. That's all that needed to be said.
And that wasn't said.
Never once.
I am a queer woman. I've always identified as queer. I will always be queer till the day I die. I have loved women. I love women. I will always love women, whether I am with a guy or a girl or just a human being that I love. It doesn't matter who I'm dating or what relationship I'm in. I will always be queer. This was not a song to center a relationship around a man. It was to center the complexity of the queer experience, of my queer experience, and the nuance of it, and that it doesn't need to look a certain way. If anybody has felt seen or represented by me and my music in the past, that is not something that I take lightly. And if you have felt invalidated or been invalidated through the process of me sharing this or this song, that is not my intention. That has never been my intention. I'm a songwriter and an artist, and I have always written about my love stories and my relationships and my heartbreaks and my losses and my loves. I am fully aware that it is not brave and it is not scary to share with the world at large about a straight passing heteronormative relationship in this political climate, in this world that we are in right now. I am aware that that is not scary to share. What felt scary for me was sharing with my community and my world, where people have only experienced and known me a certain way. I felt really nervous that I would let people down and that I would disappoint them and that my queerness wouldn't be queer enough. But it's opened the door to a larger conversation, and I welcome the discourse of it. I have centered an entire career around creating safe spaces for people to show up and authentically be themselves and celebrate themselves and be who they are in any given moment. It is not my intention to cause harm or to cause hurt to anyone in this community that I will ride for till the day I die. In my archiving of my Instagram, it was not to erase my sapphic identity as Fletcher in any capacity. I love all of the women that I have been. Usually archive my Instagram before I release new music, but it is not to erase any aspect of who I am. I'm not suddenly going by Carrie. I am still Fletcher.
Hello everyone, today we want to talk about some hot stories. First of all, Miley Cyrus reacted to JoJo Siwa's relationship with Chris Hughes, and JoJo responded. Then, we'll look at people's reactions to Billie Eilish's relationship with Nat Wolff from the Naked Brothers group. Also, we'll talk about Fletcher and her relationship with a man, and the reaction of Clara's fans who saw her with a man. And finally, we'll get to the story of Glen Powell and his ex-girlfriend Gigi Paris, who talked about how Glen and Sweeney promoted the movie Anyone But You, and shared all her feelings with us. Okay, let's get to the main story. Hello friends, and welcome to the weekly tip show. A lot has happened this week, so let's skip the intro and go straight to Glen Powell's story. Gigi Paris, Glen's ex-girlfriend, spoke for the first time since that controversial incident involving Glen and Sweeney. If you don't know about it, I'll remind you. The story is that Glen and Sydney caused quite a stir during the promotion of the 2023 romantic comedy movie Anyone But You. It wasn't just about the movie, but their relationship and chemistry that made everyone suspicious. People started guessing if they were together because they had many flirty and charming moments, both on the red carpet and behind the scenes. The problem was that both had partners at the time, Glen with model Gigi Paris and Sydney with Jonathan Dano, who was said to be her fiance. But apparently, they used the buzz to promote their movie, and many said if they were the girlfriends, they'd be upset because it felt disrespectful. Gigi also unfollowed Sydney on Instagram and posted a cryptic message showing she was stepping back from the relationship. Eventually, Glen and Gigi broke up, which wasn't surprising to many. But rumors about Glen and Sydney's relationship increased. Even months ago, people were guessing guessing if they were together because Sydney had issues with her fiancé and Glen was single. They were even seen together at Glen's sister's wedding, but later said they were just friends. This week, Gigi spoke on the Too Much podcast about her feelings toward the movie promotion and cheating rumors. She said she was very hurt because Glen didn't publicly say he hadn't cheated, which made her feel disrespected and decide to end the relationship. Gigi said, "I had two choices. Either pretend everything was fine and let everyone guess if they were together, or stand up for myself and say no, I don't accept this and I'm leaving." She emphasized that she expected Glen to simply say, "I didn't cheat on my girlfriend," and that not hearing this was very painful. Now let's move to another story that's been very noisy this month. The discussion about girls dating boys. Many people online have commented on this and some got upset. This story goes back to JoJo Siwa, who became popular this year. She first dated Kat S, then Chris Hughes. When she was on Big Brother, she was very honest about herself and her orientations, saying she first thought she was a lesbian, but later realized she was queer. But now that she's dating a guy, people are giving her a hard time, asking why this happened. Of course, JoJo is not alone. This month, Billie Eilish also announced she's dating Nat Wolff, and many were surprised because they thought Billie only dated girls. Again, we saw many comments on social media saying this month was Pride, and now all the girls are with boys. Oh no! Fletcher recently released a song about being in a relationship with a man, which seemed like an apology. She has always identified as queer, and most of her songs were about relationships with women. This made some of her fans feel like Fletcher lost the representation she had for them, or even betrayed them. But Fletcher responded to these reactions saying, "I am a queer woman and always will be. I love women and always will. Whether I'm with a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. This song is about the complexity of my queer experience, not just about dating a man." She emphasized that she didn't intend to hurt anyone or diminish their representation, and that she expected these reactions. Also, Clara, another singer, posted pictures with a man, which made some fans upset, leaving comments like, "Stay away from him, man." Of course, some were joking, but some really were upset that girls they thought were queer were seen with men. However, some said dating men doesn't mean losing queer identity and that they are still queer. And finally, back to Miley Cyrus and JoJo Siwa's story. Miley jokingly teased JoJo, who is now with a man, at the DC Pride Festival and said, "Miley, just want to say you have an amazing girlfriend. This month should be a year and even more," and then tried to pull JoJo out of the closet. JoJo responded by posting a photo of herself and Miley, writing, "I have loved Miley since I was a kid and still do. I'm sure Miley's joke wasn't bad, but it wasn't a good joke either. I talked to her and she said it's all about love and kindness. She said the most important thing is to be happy and satisfied with yourself and to always keep love even when others judge." Okay friends, it's been a month full of controversies and I want to hear your thoughts on these stories. What do you think about Miley's joke to JoJo? What was JoJo's response? How have people reacted to Billie, Fletcher, and Clara? And what do you think about Glen, Powell, and Gigi Paris' story? I'm waiting for your comments. Love you all very much and see you in the next video.